Welcome back to the Coach Steve Show, everybody. If this is your first time, hit the like button, subscribe button on the YouTube channel. Follow it right on Apple and iTunes and Spotify. Also follow on X, Instagram, TikTok, all the social media sites. Follow there. All the description is in the link below. Especially if this is your first time, show some support for the channel. I would greatly appreciate it. Also, leave a comment in the comment section down below as well. Does it sound okay? What does the camera look like? Trying a different angle here. So we're trying a few things different here, trying to change it up, and we're trying to pump out some episodes as well. We are getting back to still interviews, still talking about sports teams, but get back to the grassroots here and talk about football. So this is mainly for younger coaches getting into football. They're offensive line coaches for the first time. They're getting into some offensive stuff. It's a simple offensive way. I try not to make things too complicated, and I'm here to help out the younger coaches, especially get into the profession. So this is just a episode getting back to our simple offensive segment. So today we're going to talk about power, but specifically when teams start to line up in two techniques. Now, for younger coaches, there's a video. If you go to Simple Offensive playlist here on the YouTube channel, you'll be able to find my Simple Offensive segment where we discuss exactly what all techniques are. Because I don't know about you, when I was growing up and playing, we were told block this guy, block this guy, block this guy. Didn't really know techniques, and there was nothing wrong with that. There was no reason to teach us that. We were running a under center triple option offense. We had three running backs in the backfield at all times, at least two of all times, but we mainly had three. So I didn't know what techniques were until I started getting to coaching. And I remember hearing somebody say a one technique, a three technique. And I'm like, what is that? And this was in the days, younger coaches, where, yeah, we had dial-up internet, but we didn't necessarily have access to a lot of, hey, let's just Google it. Let's just go on YouTube and try to find out. There was none of that in the mid 2000s. That was not very accessible as it is today. So if you don't know what a two technique is, anything like that, check out the other video. But real quick, two technique would be head up our offensive guards. When they are head up our offensive guards, they get into two techniques. The reason why defenses do this is because they want your linemen to think. And we don't want our linemen to think. We want them to get up to the line of scrimmage. You want to prepare them for any type of look that they'll possibly get. You want to give them the look that you've seen on film, but you also want to give them other looks because you also have you try not to dabble into the what if game, but you try to think from a defensive perspective. They've lined up like this, but against us, if we run power very well or whatever run play you run very well, you have to be prepared for what the defense is probably going to do to try to slow you down. So when we get guys head up the guards, they are looking to make your lineman think, am I going towards the A gap? Am I going towards the B gap? Am I just going to try to bull rush you? So it trying to get the lineman to think. We want to have answers to when the defense decides to line up. And there are two techniques, and this is if there's two techniques when you run power. So let's dive right into it. Let me know if you can see this. I want to try this. So let me know if you can still, if you're watching, let me know if you can still see the plays here. If not, I'll try to switch it. I kind of want to try sharing my screen this way. So traditional power, at least for me, to be stupid simple, is every single player except the pulling guard and the backside tackle, they are all gap down backer. So what that means is if I'm running power right, the right tackle is looking inside to that gap. So to me, that's partly down. Head up, the right guard is also down. So that's the angle that he wants to take. So gap, down, backer. And we're looking towards opposite backer. We don't want to get front side because if me personally, my experience, you aim for front side, this cat right here could scrape right underneath and make a play. And we don't want that. We have a pulling guard for that person. Now, if this linebacker shoots into that angle, take him. But gap down backer. Right guard traditionally is also gap down backer. So inside to his left in the gap to head up the center would be down to that linebacker. And the reason being is if you get a 5-1-3-5, The right tackle would take care of him. Right guard now has to replace the tackle's responsibility. So that's where gap down backer comes from. Same thing with the center. Now, centers, I usually tell head up ish, gap down backer. Now, their gap down goes all the way to a 3 technique. If they flip flop this and go to a 1 and a 3, he's responsible to try to get that 3. It's a tough block, but he is ultimately responsible for getting that. So, gap down backer for everybody. Pulling guard aims for front side linebacker. Backside tackle or left tackle, he is step hinging. Traditional. Okay, that's the quick update. Check out other videos for power. So, to try to slow that down to where their defensive linemen don't get blocked very easily, they might jump into 2 techniques, which is help the guard. Sometimes it's just one side. So if they take the tackle and they say, hey, you're going to be a 2 technique, they might keep him at a 1 technique because they still want to plug up some gaps. They might go 2 tech. They might have 2 head ups, but he still might be responsible for the A gap slanting in. It just depends. So if we go play side, we're running power right, and they could jump into a 2 technique. Right now, for my rules that I just told you, gap down backer for the right tackle. So what I mean by that is he goes at this angle, and this is the angle of trajectory that it's taking him. So in that line that I would tell my offensive lineman was gap down backer, gap down backer. So gap down backer. Right now, there's a guy head up of the 2 or the guard. So he is responsible for getting that 2 technique. Now, I also tell the right guards, you are also gap down backer in the same trajectory. So what a blocking like this would look like is he's got him, right guard is replacing him, going to get that backer. Center would take this 1 technique because he is, I always say head up ish. There's a reason why I say it that way. Because if you're running against a 3-3 team, 3-4 team, and he's just responsible. So gap down backer, he takes the 1 technique. The Y is looking to kick out block. You want to call it a J block, however block you want to call it. Left guard is skip pulling. He's probably going to hit it right here. If the Y doesn't get there, it might end up hitting out here, which is fine, but traditional ways here. Left tackle step hinges. He protects inside gap, hinges back open to make sure that nobody gets there. Everybody knows this. Now, this is very easy when you draw it up. When you draw this up, it looks very easy. But I'm going to tell you right now, for that right tackle to down block, to get all the way to that 2 technique is not as easy. If you go out and line up, it's not easy, especially if this defensive tackle is very well coached in this, because as soon as this right tackle starts to leave, he's aiming for one of his hips because he is head up. Okay. And it just all depends on their defensive scheme, because when he is head up, you are hoping that you slow down that right guard, especially at the high school level, to make him wonder who he's supposed to block. And you're wondering, what gap is he responsible for? Is he responsible for the B gap? Is he responsible for the A gap? And then this linebacker replaces. So if this tackle goes into the B gap, that means this guy's eyes are towards this A gap. If this tackle has to be responsible for A gap, this linebacker is now responsible for B gap. So it depends on how he's going to play it. So now you, as an offensive coordinator, offensive line coach, offensive lineman, you're starting to play the guessing game. And you hope that this tackle decides to shoot B gap. And the reason why is because if it's gap down backer, he's running right into him. It might become a stalemate. If you can overpower him and take him for a ride down the line of scrimmage, that's what you're looking to do. But slanting defensive linemen are very aggressive. So this becomes a very difficult block. And then you're hoping that this guy stutters a little bit before he gets there. Maybe this linebacker is going to shoot. Maybe they miss. Just a lot of different games that they can play if he's moving, if he's looking to blitz. For the center, this is a easy block when you draw it up. Nothing about blocking is easy. So you're hoping that that's what happens. But you're also kind of hoping if he does slant this way, does the right guard can take him? He's off. He's off. We're off to the races. Okay. And we're looking to run power that way. And again, this is very easily drawn up. Now, if this guy's good, okay, you go, okay, we're going to stick to our traditional gap down backer rules. Cool. This guy starts to make plays. So he slants, the right tackle can't get there, comes up here, makes play, you're getting yelled at, or he comes running up, the guard that skip pulls takes him out, but now nobody's blocking this linebacker, he's free to make a play. So this is where me personally, I would always write in the rules, right tackle, your job is gap down backer. Nothing changes, gap down backer. Right guard, I always said, head up, gap down backer. Head up, gap down backer. And the reason why I would put that in there is because you can easily take it out. If this is a guy that you know you can down block, anything else, like we just drew it up, you take it out for that week and you say, hey, your rules are gap down backer, and you rep it. If you say head up, gap down backer, that is because this guy is causing some issues. So when you say head up, gap down backer, it's, hey, he's head up. I have to help take him for a little bit. So you are talking to the right tackle and you are calling some type of double team, whatever your double team communication is, that is what you're calling. So now it will look like this. The right tackle is going to come, but right guard's going to hit him as well. And they're trying to get the right tackle, right guard off here to go here. Okay. So if he tries to slant, you're trying to hit him. You're trying to aim and just hit his shoulder. So the right tackle is aiming now for your shoulder, actually, to try to help overtake that. His head is aiming here for like a traditional down block. I always say ear hole to chest. So if I was the left tackle, I'm stepping, running. If he gets slowed down, my ear hole is aiming here, hip here, hand here, and everything is aiming towards my buddy's shoulder. So it helps actually with an aiming point, and it becomes a double team to that. Now, if the guy tries to bull rush, get hands on to the right guard, this is where you have to practice this. That'd be a gallop. You're aiming for hip to displace him. Okay. And you're trying to get this tackle displaced a little bit. Okay. So then the right, you're trying to get him displaced there. So then the right tackle would continue on and get that backer, that gallop, bam, hit there. Center would still take this. Now, if they went for this for sake of having fun here, if that nose guard jumps to a 2 technique as well and they're running 2-2s, that center still has that responsibility of, I have to go get here. Our skip puller cannot stay. He has to skip pull around. Now, he skip pulls. If my feet are like this, he's skip pulling around with his left, trying to do momentum to his right. He's actually getting away from that guy. It leaves an open spot for the center to go get him. So that 2 technique is still taken care of. Your Y is looking to kick out here. Skip puller still here. Step hinge. And that's how you could handle a 2 technique 2 different ways. You stick to your gap down backer. You stay like this, where it becomes like a double team. If he starts to slant towards the tackle, look to help with that. But my eyes are to that backer, knowing that if he starts to show up, so you have to understand, if this tackle slants hard this way, I am still blocking here, but my eyes are towards there, because if this guy sees a puller and he starts to run like a bat out of hell as the right tackle, you now have to wait for him to get there and kind of collision there. It's a messy play. Power is a messy play, and it some people think it hits slow, but a lot of this has to happen very quickly, because you're trying to create a lane for that pulling guard. So just like we talked about in the last video, where inside zone, the 4 eyes, the pesky 4 eyes, there's also pesky 2 techniques. In a perfect world, you would get a 1 technique, a 3 technique. That's your perfect world. That's day 1. Everybody in America, especially at the high school level, when they install plays, because I know I do, you go against that. You're showing in a perfect world. But then you got to show them 3-man, 30 fronts. You got to show them 2 techniques. But that's why you have to come out and have rules. So for me, and that's why I would always tell the right guard, you are head up, gap down backer. Head up, gap down backer. Okay. Head up, gap down backer. Game time decisions are if that right tackle can get there, then we tell him, okay, then you're a gap down backer, and that's in a game. Okay. I would always do that in a game. If I thought, okay, our tackle can get there. And again, this is right side, left side, doesn't matter. Another thing you can do to help with this is if he goes two technique, there's one technique here, I would yank the tight end over. You would go, okay, they, towards the tight end side, they get a 1 and a 2, go here. If they decide to move, then you adjust that way. But if it's a team that doesn't move, okay, and they're not ready for it, you go here, now run power this to the left side to where it's gap down backer, gap down backer, gap down backer, skip pull in there, kick out, step hinge, all good, right? All good. But if you're a team that really can't do that, or you don't have it in your offense and you got to do that, that is my opinion on how you would handle a 2 technique when running power. If power is your main play and it is 3rd and 2, 4th and 1, and there was a play you were going to call to get that first down and it's power, then they get into 2 techniques. That is what you do. Okay. And the reason why I recommend giving your guards head up, gap down backer is because what if this guy decides to walk down and they want to overload everything? So now it becomes bam, bam. Like I'm covered, I'm there. Now when you skip pull, okay, now they have to go in there. And that's something else you have to practice. If they blitz, where do you go? He's taken care of. They're yelling down the line, hey, I got him, me, you, all that stuff. Okay. So that's what you're looking for there as well. So that's why I recommend tackles are always gap down backer. Guards are always head up, gap down backer. And to the tackles, if you hear a double team call, okay, you're looking to gallop anyway, just in case that guy were to slant and you're trying to displace him or overtake him. Okay. If you gallop into it, you got to take him. If you want to, if he's, his head up and he just wants to bull rush your guard, you're galloping, displacing, and trying to bounce that guard and trying to bounce yourself into that area, because all you're trying to do, we always tell linemen, you don't run at people to block them, right? In space. Defensive linemen, yeah, you're trying to get there, but in space with those linebackers, you are not running where they are, you're running where they're going to be. So that's another reason why is if he's in a stalemate, you gallop, bam, displace him. You're wondering if this guy is going to show up. So that's why you want to stay on that track. If he completely overruns you for some reason, let's say you motion this guy crossed and you're running some type of fake screen on this side and they all go flying that way, let them go. You don't want to run. So there is this episode of how to handle a 2 technique when you are running power. Again, this is for newer coaches, maybe running power for the first time. Maybe you are now starting to see 2 techniques, just trying to give back the best way I know how. So leave a comment down below, thumbs up, like and subscribe on the YouTube channel. Follow right on Apple, iTunes, Spotify. Follow on X, Instagram, TikTok, all that good stuff. It's all down below, but you can find me on there. Leave comments, whatever, about other episodes, different questions that you have. Come on here and draw it up for you. Let me know about the different, leave comments, the camera angle. I've got my bookshelf now, lots of books back there. I know. So all that stuff. Be on the lookout for episodes, interviews with some coaches. Be on the lookout for other episodes like this. We'll continue to talk Illinois football, and continue to talk about all that good stuff. Chicago Bears, don't worry, all that will be coming. So thank you guys for watching and or listening. This is Coach Steve. We will see you guys next time.